I will therefore hand over to our president to start the meeting.
Yes, madam. Thank you very much, President-elect Toastmaster Anita Koti. Ladies and gentlemen, a hearty, a gracious thank you for this. Welcome to Ghana. Here we say Akwaba. This is Perissos Horizon Toastmasters Club. And if you've ever joined our meetings, ladies and gentlemen, you know that here we do one thing and one thing only. All we know how to do is scale higher heights. We just keep scaling higher heights. And I don't know about you, but back in the day, back in junior high school and previous, we had a saying, and I believe it is a well-known saying. It is ubiquitous. It's a ubiquitous saying that all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. And I can see by the shaking of heads that it is a saying that we are all too familiar with. And in light of that, ladies and gentlemen, we just want to have fun. President-elect in her statement, in her address, mentioned that this morning we are going to let loose our hair, have some amazing fun, connect with our inner child, and make sure that we don't lose sight. We smell the roses whilst we are developing, whilst we are building on our leadership and communication skills. Once again, welcome to Ghana, welcome to Perissos Horizon Toastmasters Club, to our meeting themed Toastmasters Just Wanna Have Fun. And speaking of junior high school days and primary school days, at the beginning of every day before classroom sessions begin, we had one activity that absolutely must happen, and that is to put our hands on your chest wherever you are and recite the national pledge. And as Toastmasters as we are a community, we are a nation. We will not recite our individual national pledges, but we will recite our Toastmasters pledge. As president of the club, I will lead in the recitation of the Toastmasters promise. And here it goes. As a member of the Toastmasters International and my club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly, to prepare all of my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program, to prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations, to help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow, to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy, to bring guests to club meetings so they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers, to adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters education recognition programs, and finally, to act within the Toastmasters core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities. Ladies and gentlemen, for your auditory pleasure and notice, this is the Toastmasters promise. With that out of the way, it is my honor to introduce our events chair. She's been running up and down virtually and otherwise to ensure that this meeting comes off without a glitch. And so far, everything from organization, from virtual room, from moderators, sharing a recipe, everything has happened as copacetic as they can possibly be. We have an amazing woman to thank for that. And I know if I gave you the opportunity to share a word or two about our event here, we would be here for days talking about this amazing woman without end. She is the founder of Perissos Horizon Toastmasters Club. Basically, she is the reason, she is the tree from which all the branches, members of Perissos Horizon Club and others have stemmed from. She a startup management and training consultancy, which sponsored the corporate club where we find ourselves in. She hosts the Perissos Horizon chat room series on her YouTube channel to inspire her audience through the experiences of her guests. She is the current VPE, which is Vice President Education of the club, and Charter VPM Vice President Membership One Country, One World Advanced Toastmasters. She is a two-time self-published author and the first female division director of Ghana Toastmasters. She's an administrator and an HR professional, married with two beautiful daughters. Ladies and gentlemen, unmute your microphones and let's make some 10 seconds noise to welcome our events chair, DTM Patricia Jifa Mensa Lakai.
Thank you so much, Mr. President, Kwesi and Info, for that warm introduction. I would get right to the point and add on to all the Akwaaba messages you have received. And once again, say welcome to Accra, welcome to Ghana, welcome to Division G in District 94, and a warm welcome to Perissos Horizon Toastmasters Club. Today's open house is working towards a third DTM project, and I wanted it to be a membership building campaign, a fun activity for all Toastmasters as we wound up in our mandate of 2020-2021. I look forward to a lot of excitement in all the different rooms, but I would love to share with you how the event is going to run. We have garnered together amazing Toastmasters from the various districts, the various clubs. And this is how you are going to experience this Toastmasters who want to have fun. There'll be no accountants, no grammarians. We just want to listen, learn, laugh out loud as much as we can as we go through the various activities. I would also invite in a few minutes our tourism master, who is going to tell us more about some sights and sounds that you would love to experience in Accra, Ghana. I wouldn't want her coming in and reintroducing me. We promised ourselves not to do too much to change anything in the agenda. I will just let you go through the second segment. After our district director, our international director has delivered her presentation, we would have an exciting moment of table topics by Toastmaster Evo, a member of our club who is so passionate, and so we refer to him as the unicorn, and you will soon know why. If at any point in time, whilst enjoying your moments in the breakout rooms, you have any challenge, simply press on the ask button and one of the Zoom masters will come to your aid from the main room. In as much as we would love for you to enjoy all the 3 breakout rooms at will, we do encourage that you at least make time to listen to 2 speakers each in the breakout rooms. Feel free to hop around and experience some other things going on in different rooms until the time we all reconvene in the main room for an exciting wrap-up. I will simply scroll through for you to take a look at the various breakout rooms. And as I have indicated in the chat box, if you are a guest joining us, simply prefix your name with a short code to enable a Zoom master to assign you into the right breakout room if you have any challenges. All participants have access to leave a breakout room or to join a breakout room. Only take note that you do not click the button that may let you leave the meeting totally. But if that happens peradventure, don't hesitate to run back to your email and click the link to join us right here. So this is what you have coming up. If you want to be in the recipe room, please prefix your name with SR. If you wish to be in the sing-along room, please prefix your name with SK. And as I mentioned, at 1 p.m., all Zoom rooms will be closed. And then you would come into the breakout room for the wrap up. Do enjoy your meeting, and I hope it is as much fun for you as it has been for me right through the planning stages till this day. Over to you, RIPP, in the person of distinguished Toastmaster Elizabeth Chumwa Sasu, the youngest distinguished Toastmaster in Ghana, or should I say the fastest. In less than 2 years, she was able to excel to the ranks of a distinguished Toastmaster with all its experiences. Over to you, Toastmaster Elizabeth. You have the virtual lectern. Please let's welcome her with a warm round of virtual applause.
Thank you very much, DTM Pat. And thank you to everyone who has joined us today for this all-important event. After this meeting, we are going to have a 3-time DTM in Ghana. We are so grateful to everyone for making it happen. Welcome to Ghana, Akwaba. If you can see on my screen, I have the Kotoka International Airport. So even though we're having a virtual meeting, I am welcoming you through our airport because most of us on this platform today are coming from outside of Ghana. This is our biggest airport in Ghana, and this is our international airport. So welcome once again. I hope you had a fruitful journey and you're going to enjoy the sights of Ghana. When you come to Ghana, as you're already in Ghana today, even though it's virtual, you have to visit the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum. That is the abode of Ghana's first president. This man was a Pan-Africanist. He fought for the rights of Ghanaians. Remember that anytime you visit Ghana, visit the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum. It has all the artifacts, and it even has the body of the former president of Ghana. You don't have to forget to visit the Cape Coast Castle. This is where the transatlantic slave trade occurred. This is where we have the door of no return, where most of Blacks who were slaves were transferred through our seas, mostly to the Americas. We are celebrating beyond the return, that is 400 years of slave trade. We are welcoming everyone back to Africa via our Cape Coast Castle. We now have door of return. So anyone on this platform today, if you wish and you are ready to come to Ghana, please don't forget to visit our Cape Coast Castle. It has a lot of history with regards to the slave trade. We move on to the Kakum National Park. As you can see on your screen, beautiful vegetation. If you love nature, visit Kakum National Park. Kakum National Park has 7 steps. As you step on the walkway, you would know what nature is all about. You would appreciate what God has for all of us, for mankind. Rich vegetation. Don't forget to visit our beaches as well. Ghana has one of the most beautiful beaches in the world, especially after you have visited the Cape Coast Castle and the Kakum National Park, and you are on your way to the Western region. You will see all these beautiful beaches on the way along the coast. You need to be there to see it. Then we have the Inzulezu village on stilts. This establishment is also 400 years old. It is one of the biggest establishments on stilts in Africa. You need to be there. Then I take you all the way to our northern region, where we have the Larabanga Mosque. This is the oldest mosque in West Africa. As we can all see, Ghana has a lot of tourist attractions. And as you can see from us showing in the videos, we are also beautiful and we are tourist attractions personified. We would welcome you to Ghana, not virtually, but physically. We are hopeful that COVID-19 will be put to bed and we can all travel again. When the time is up for us to travel again, please put Ghana on your bucket list because this is a destination of choice. Once again, Akwaba, welcome to Ghana. Over to you.
Wow, that was amazing. DTM Elizabeth, she is a passionate tourism and aviation expert. If you visit GH-Aviation on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you would get to know why she is so passionate about aviation and tourism. And we couldn't have welcomed you better than to let the passionate DTM Elizabeth take you through that aspect of our program. For those who just joined, we have put in a few cues to enable us all enjoy the program. It is getting to that segment where we will run through a beautiful moment of impromptu speaking with the only unicorn, Evo. For those who would love to participate, please kindly get his attention and send him a message in the chat box. Before we do that, I have a lovely sister in the room to introduce to you. She is one woman that really caught my attention on Facebook as I skimmed through to find out where in the world can I find like-minded people who probably eat Toastmasters, drink Toastmasters, sleep Toastmasters, like I was doing or I am still doing. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't the only person who was so crazy about Toastmasters. And that indeed gave me some excitement. I finally realized it was not a mental health problem. There were indeed like-minded Toastmasters like me, and distinguished Toastmaster Maud Nally is one of them. She is going to do us the honors of introducing our special guest speaker to us. So, Toastmaster, if we have distinguished Toastmaster Maud Nally still in the room with us, please unmute yourself and take over the virtual lectern. Please, let's give her a warm round of applause.
Thank you so much to you, DTM Patricia, for that warm welcome. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters, friends, guests from Ghana and across the world. It is so lovely to be here at this themed event called Toastmasters want to have fun. Indeed, they say if it's not fun, it's not Toastmasters. So I'm certainly looking forward to all the fun that will be had right here at this event. I also have the honor of introducing our very special keynote speaker, who is indeed no stranger to many of us across the world here as Toastmasters. Aletta Rashah is a certified world-class speaking coach and interview coach. She teaches clients how to breathe life into their presentations. She also helps them to be noticed, remembered, and hired. She is a two-time author of a book entitled Speak, Connect, Succeed, and the other one is entitled The Wedding Speaker's Guide. She has spoken and trained in over 21 countries. Her clients range from corporations who are wishing to improve their presentation skills to CEOs who are wanting to be more persuasive in their speeches. She has coached TEDx speakers, executives who are launching new products, and professors speaking at international conventions. She's lucky enough to live in one of the most beautiful cities right here in South Africa, and it's Cape Town. I also recently found out at an event that she's left-handed. I have an obsession with left-handed people, so I had to throw that in. In the Toastmasters setting, she is no stranger. She is our current international director, and she's also a distinguished Toastmaster. It's such an honor to have her here at this special event. So Toastmasters, friends and guests, please join me in welcoming onto the virtual stage our keynote speaker, International Director and Distinguished Toastmaster, Aletta Rashah. Over to you, Aletta.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Maud, a wonderful introduction. DTM Patricia, in your team, your incredible club, thank you for making my Saturday morning. What else would I be doing except being here with you, just having fun? I have to issue a disclaimer right up front. My children are horrified that I'm speaking about this topic today. Now, as a mother, especially a mother of grown-up children, I'm no stranger to them thinking that I'm a bit odd and that a bit cringeworthy sometimes. So that goes with the territory. But today I just have to share this because I just love it. If I had to go cock-a-doodle-doo, you might be forgiven for thinking I'd grown up on a farm. No, I didn't. I've always grown up in cities or in an urban environment, so I did not wake up every day with roosters crowing. Occasionally, I'd come across roosters when I was in a farm setting or on holiday somewhere, but they weren't part of my everyday life. Until one day, that all changed. And behind me, you can see this beautiful painting of a rooster. And he and I met at a shop many years ago, and my husband and I were looking for some paintings for our home. The minute I laid eyes on him, I knew he was mine. There was nothing else that could compare to just this most gorgeous painting with this most beautiful creature on it. I've been happily married to my husband, Rory, for 30 years. But let me tell you, if we ever got divorced, I would fight tooth and nail for my rooster. He's coming with me. There's no ways he's going with my husband if we ever had to part ways. And that was the beginning of my love affair with roosters. And it wasn't something that kind of accelerated dramatically. It just happened from time to time. If you go to any of the shops in any of the countries that you live in, you are bound to find roosters. You find them on tea towels, you find them on oven mitts. And let me tell you, not all roosters are created equal. There are some very ugly roosters around. And my mantra is, I want to feel that if I'm buying something, especially a rooster, I've got to fall in love with it. So I want to introduce you to a few of my brood of roosters so you get an idea of the ones that I've liked. This is the first one I bought at a garden center, and I just loved him. His beautiful tail feathers, the angle of his head, and he was one of my first life-size ones that I bought. The next one was this guy here. And I found him in Malaysia. And the minute I saw him on the shelf in the shop, I knew I had to make room in my already full suitcase because he was coming home with me. One of my prize ones is this beautiful guy here. And I found him in Lisbon, Portugal. And I was walking down this little cobbled street and I saw him in the window. And again, I just knew I would do whatever it took to bring him home. My brood of roosters lives on a windowsill in my kitchen, and much to my kids' amusement, every now and again we get a new addition to the family. One like this, which I found also in Malaysia, and this one, a ceramic one, also in Malaysia. And when I travel, I have tremendous fun scaring the living daylights out of my family because I find really ugly roosters, take photos of them and say to the kids, I'm bringing this one home, what do you think? And they all say, no, no, absolutely not, please spare us. I started thinking, what is it about roosters that speaks to me? Because there are many things that I could be attracted to, but what is it about roosters? And I think the first thing I notice is they are just unapologetically beautiful. And they are born to be leaders. They strut their stuff across the farmyard and everyone's eye is drawn to them. Not because they're doing anything special, but because they are being who they are. They are born leaders. I started doing a bit of research into roosters, and I found out that chickens are happier when there's a rooster around than if there's no rooster around. And one of the functions of a rooster is to keep order amongst the hens and to, I suppose, establish a hierarchy of authority. They are also known as tremendous protectors of their brood. They will fight to the death to protect those who they are looking after. And those are admirable leadership qualities. I've also discovered that in many cultures, roosters symbolize good luck, new beginnings, success, prosperity, wonderfully positive character traits. In the Korean culture, it's considered good luck if you spot a rooster. And because of their courage and their reputation of protecting their brood, many people have a tattoo of a rooster to invoke that feeling of courage. When I read that, I thought that was a brilliant idea. So no, I haven't done that yet. I think the kids would certify me as crazy if they knew I went and had a rooster tattoo, but you never know. There's always another day. When I think of roosters, and I think of the spirit of a rooster, I start thinking, how could I improve my life if I had the spirit of a rooster? So imagine you going into your next business meeting, and especially one that perhaps is quite daunting for you. It's a high stakes meeting, perhaps very senior people there, or there's a lot at stake. Maybe if your meeting goes well, you get a new client. If it doesn't go well, you might not have a job. You know, those really high stakes meetings. And I want you to imagine a meeting like that you're going to. And as you think about that meeting, you can just feel yourself getting tense and being doubtful, and there's that knot of fear in your stomach. Imagine going into that meeting as a rooster. How would you go into that meeting? If I said to each one of you now, turn on your camera, and I'd like you to sit up like a rooster. And I can predict that every one of you is sitting a little bit straighter, fluffing your feathers, just a little bit bolder, taking up a little bit more space. Now imagine taking that attitude into that meeting. What would change? I suspect you would use less tentative language. Instead of saying it's only my suggestion, or I think maybe this will work, you would be saying, after considerable thought and based on my expertise, this is what needs to be done. You would be so much bolder. You would be so much more sure of yourself and unapologetic in terms of your ideas for the benefit of everyone in that meeting. Imagine going into your next negotiation, whether it's for a contract, a client, a salary negotiation, anything like that. What would change if you went in as a rooster? My guess is that as a rooster, you would know what you are worth. You would be tenacious. You would be persistent until you got what you deserved. You wouldn't settle for second best. So can you see the value of taking that spirit of a rooster and bringing it close to you and taking it with you wherever you went? For those of you that are dating, imagine going into your next date as a rooster. Oh my goodness, you would be strutting your stuff, fluffing your feathers, and be unapologetically beautiful. And you would be so happy being the center of attention. Not because you're conceited, but because that's what you are born to be. You are a rooster, you are a leader, and people are drawn to you. We live in a crazy world. We live in a world where things are so fluid, there's no predictability, there's a lot of fear out there. But our families, our communities, and our countries need leaders. They need you to find your inner rooster, embrace your inner rooster, and go forth and make your voice heard. You have got a message that I need to hear, that all of us need to hear. But we need you to speak up. We need you to speak out. We need you to share your passions. And that's where your inner rooster comes in. So I'd like to leave you with not only the image of a rooster, but the advice from a rooster. The first thing a rooster would tell you is you've got to rise early, because roosters get ahead of their competition. They're not afraid of hard work. They know that they've got to be the best. They rise early and they crow because they let everybody know who's in charge. So make sure that you are better than your competition and that every day you claim that spot. You act as if you are better. You do things that make you better. You add more value than your competition. You've got to find something to crow about. And if you don't know what that is, tap into what's meaningful to you. Tap into those moments in your life where things changed, where you saw the world differently because you felt something. And you're so passionate about that that you just have to share it with other people so that they can improve their lives. Remember, roosters, even though they're center of attention, they're not there for themselves. They're there for the betterment of their brood of chickens. So what do you need to crow about, and who are you going to impact positively? And start crowing. And roosters don't crow one day and take 2 days off. They crow every day. So find a way to crow. Find something to crow about, because we need to hear your voice. Rule your roost. My goodness me, each one of us has a roost that we can rule. And you're ruling it with love. You're ruling it with care and concern and protection and wisdom. So find your roost. You might have one at home. You might have one in your community. You might have one within Toastmasters. You might have one at work. You might have one in your country. But step up to that leadership and be the leader that we can follow, because you are the rooster we need to get things done, to inspire us, to protect us, to educate us. But we need to hear your voice. And finally, I want you to strut your stuff. Not just today, not just while you're at Toastmasters, but all day long, because God made you to be the most amazing person. And I think if we all find our inner rooster, hold it close and take it with us wherever we go in the world, we will be a contribution. We will be the people who change this world, who change our countries, our communities, our families. In times of COVID, especially, we need hope. And I believe that you and your inner rooster are going to provide hope for millions. So I invite you now, if you haven't done so already, turn those cameras on. Unmute your microphones. So the first step is take up the pose of a rooster. Fluff your feathers, stand up straight, hold your head high. The next thing is assume the attitude of a rooster and just know that you've got something to give that we need. And as you strut your stuff, I invite you all to join me as we're going to make some noise. And we're going to crow and we're going to make a cock-a-doodle-doo that'll make the neighbors come and run and see what's happening. Are you ready? 1,
Yes.
2, 3.
Yes.
Thank you so much for allowing me to strut my stuff and to join my fellow roosters. I know we have time for Q&A. I'm not sure who's moderating that, but it's over to you.
Thank you so much, ID Aletta Rocha. I feel like going once again. Cock-a-doodle-doo! I am going to keep crowing until the roosters come home. Thank you. Please, at this time, fellow roosters, if you have found that inner rooster and you want some more tips and nuggets to enable you keep flapping those wings, kindly put your question in the chat box so that we can take a few. I will go first. International Director Aletta, I was honored to be part of your free interview prep skills workshop. And so my question will probably be, if you find yourself in an organization where you have these talents, these skill sets, the capacity to do more, and is burning inside of you, how do you let that inner rooster crow at dawn daily without people thinking that you are just showing off?
I apologize for the noise in the background. The thing about demonstrating your value at work is you have to know how you are benefiting the organization. You don't want to come across as arrogant. You want to come across as a team player who sees the bigger picture and you can add value to the organization. So my advice is to helicopter up above your job and think about it from a management viewpoint. Think about it from, if this was your company, what needs to be done? Where are the opportunities? Where can we cut costs? Where can we improve our efficiency? You can come up with instances, stories that you've experienced before, where you've led teams and you have created those opportunities. That's very useful in an interview situation. But identify the value you can add and then go to the key decision maker and say, this is what I see. This is what I see the company needs. This is what I see how we can improve efficiency, time, saving money, getting new clients. This is my proposal. Can I run with it? You may get a yes, you may get a no, but at the very least, you get awareness of the fact that you are thinking bigger and you can add value, and just keep planting that seed.
Wow, just letting the organization or your colleagues know you have something of value to add and making sure that at the end of the day, you keep sowing those seeds. This is indeed a workshop topic in itself. This is something that different leaders out there are paying huge sums of money to listen to. And we are honored that you chose to be here with us and share this freely at this open house. So, so grateful. Please, fellow guests, Toastmasters, do you have questions before we head off into our next segment? Kindly let me know. You can raise up your hand if you want to unmute and ask the question. Any more questions? Mavis, please, you have the virtual lecture.
Ask a question, just go.
Okay, after Mavis, we have Tiam Umar. Mavis, please ask your question. Thank you.
Hello, Aletta. Thank you so much for your wonderful speech. Thank you. I appreciate you. Today, you actually got the rooster out of me. What I want to ask is that I've recently found my voice, and it's such a refreshing time with myself and others. But one thing I've noticed is that when you find your voice and you're able to speak up, people think you are standoffish. How do you deal with such responses? Thank you.
Thank you, Mavis. Good question. Often when you start speaking up and people aren't used to you speaking up, it can become a bit threatening to people on some level. And underneath any criticism or fear, there's usually an underlying fear. They fear that they're going to get left out. They fear that you're not going to value them anymore. There's something that makes them feel that your voice is a threat to them. I would have a conversation with that person and just listen more than you speak, and then thank them for their opinion, because their opinion matters, even if it's different to yours, and then just carry on. But the people who criticize you, often what they need more than anything else is for you to listen to them, hear them, understand them, let them have their say. And as soon as you do that without speaking, just listening, hearing them, then often that builds bridges of connection between you that can help you. I'm just going to take a moment to close the window in the hope that it dampens the noise. Just give me a moment.
Thank you so much. And as we wait for Director Aletta Rocha to join us, we would take the question from Jessica. Jessica, we would have Jessica first, and then after Jessica, we would have Bharat. So Jessica, feel free to type your question as you get ready to unmute yourself.
Ready?
Okay, wonderful. Can we please have Jessica also spotlighted? Thank you so much. Amazing Zoom masters, thank you.
Alida, culturally, men are allowed to brag, and women, if they brag, they're called a mean word. Now, if you give advice to us women, you know, the same sentence, like, I feel confident that I could do that. Is that something that a woman can say? Or should a woman say, I've been told that I've done this exceptionally well? Like, should we fit the cultural thing, or should we just say, I'm not following the cultural rules, I'm changing the game? Or what's your professional advice internationally?
I believe that we need to change the game. I think we are far too apologetic as women. Some of that is socialization. Some of that is our natural tendency to think that we have to tick all 10 out of 10 boxes before we're competent. Somehow men seem to get that if they've got 6 out of 10, they're cool. But we seem to think we need to overachieve before we believe it ourselves. I'm also a believer that you don't need to be the loudest voice in the room to have tremendous authority. You can have a quiet authority. You can have a feminine authority. Your authority has to be true to you. So don't try and become someone that you're not, but just know your value. Trust yourself, you know, give yourself permission to shine. And you're going to have to do that 1,000 times. It's not something you do once off, tick the box and it's done. It's like a habit. It's a muscle that we have to keep building. So surround yourself with people who believe in you. Toastmasters is a wonderful place to build that muscle of confidence. And always just know that your voice needs to be heard. It doesn't have to be shouted, but you need to keep speaking up for what's important to you, because that's how we change the world. You know, the slides we saw earlier about the slave trade. You know, timid people didn't change the slave trade. It was people who spoke up again and again and again. And some of them spoke up very differently to others, but just keep speaking up and believe that you've got value to add.
Thank you.
Toastmaster Bharat, please, you can now have the virtual lectern to ask your question. We have about 10 more minutes to head out to our breakout rooms. So we can take 2 more questions.
Come on, everyone with me. Cock-a-doo.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Hey, Director Alita, you gave me a wonderful, every one of us, you gave us a wonderful keynote today. Well, I am full of energy. And those who have visited my club or met me somewhere can see the energy bursting from the seams. I got my answers from the 2 questions you have already answered in building trust and what Jessica asked in getting confident. So if I'm at level 2, I would be as confident as level 10. My challenge is building that trust which you answered in the first question. Also, some of my fellow Toastmasters have been telling me my over energy, my excitement is my best strength. And they also tell me it is my worst enemy. And I don't know how to balance it out. Trying my best with all you fellow Toastmasters, and today obliged to be with Director Aleta asking you a question. Thank you so much.
I think you've just got to take the time to listen to those who care about you. And when they give, we all get feedback we don't always like, but awareness is the first step to changing anything. And just listen with love and be kind to yourself, because sometimes what you do is just so natural to you. And for other people, they just don't get it because they're not wired the same way. So be kind to yourself, but also allow yourself to know that you can change.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Love that.
We can have 2 more questions, I believe. We've got 8 minutes to head out into our breakout rooms for more exciting keynotes.
Madam Event Chair, there are 2 questions in the chat from Tando and Jared. I did ask them if they wanted to come on the screen, but I have not yet received a response.
Okay, thank you so much, RTM Samantha. Please, Toastmaster DTM Jared, can you kindly unmute yourself so you can be spotlighted as you ask your question? This particular segment is on Facebook Live as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pat. Alita, thank you so much. That's a wonderful opportunity to learn from simple, humorous lessons. Very important lessons to take away with us. So my question is, as a rooster, what do I need to unlearn to relearn?
Your voice is echoing. Jared, your voice is echoing. You are on multiple devices, I believe.
No, I'm not on both. I'm not the one.
If you could just repeat the question, please, Jared.
Well, thank you so much. Okay, the question is, as a rooster, what do I need to unlearn in order to relearn?
Okay. I think as a rooster, you've got to realize that sometimes being the leader puts other people off. And sometimes you need to make space for even the quiet people who don't want to be roosters to come into your space and to be acknowledged. It's no good being a leader and only seeing yourself. You've got to see the people who do very quiet things in the background, but yet add value. The people who ask the hard questions also deserve validation. The people who just simply show up on time. All of those people are adding value. And if you are a rooster that other ones want to follow, you will be the one who takes the time to see each and every one of the people in your team for the strengths they bring. That might be very different to yours. But if you ignore them, you run the risk of being a rooster with nobody to follow you. And that's not the leadership we're looking for. We're looking for people who can lead in a way that others want to be on your team and want to follow you. So as a rooster, unlearn ignoring anyone else, unlearn not caring, and just be a rooster that cares deeply for their brood and lets them know. It's one thing to think it, but do they know that you care? And how can you tell them? It could be a WhatsApp message, it could be a voice note. The more you validate your team, the more dynamic and cohesive your team will be. That is one of the I think most underrated leadership tools is your ability to validate your team.
Thanks very much.
And I found Tando.
Wonderful.
I just want to say thank you very much for that speech, Aleta. My question is, I know you told us, you gave us those 4 things about how we can be more like a rooster, but for someone who's just starting out, do you have like one thing that they can start with until they're more confident to do the other things?
I think the first thing you do is just look in the mirror and take on the attitude of a rooster. And just get comfortable with that feeling of what would it feel like if I went in with a little bit more confidence, a little bit more self-assurance, and then go and do something you love. And that's a starting point. And then build it slowly. You know, if you're very shy or anxious, this isn't going to happen overnight. This is a lifelong habit. But if you can find a way of reminding yourself of your inner strength, your inner beauty, your value, your contribution to society. And when you look in the mirror, instead of seeing everything that's wrong, like we often tend to do, you know, I'm too old, too thin, too fat, too, you know, whatever it is, rather see the inner beauty and think, if I was a rooster, what would I be seeing? I would see that beautiful creature who is born to be unapologetically fabulous, and start seeing that in relation to yourself, and do that every single day. When you brush your teeth, admire yourself. When you comb your hair, admire yourself. If you pass a window and you can see your reflection, just think, gosh, what a beautiful rooster. And just cultivate that habit and be good to yourself. That's where it all starts.
Indeed, be good to yourself. What an amazing presentation. I am so chewing on all of the nuggets that you have given to us this morning. And I simply can't wait for the replay to just soak it all in. Before we head out in the next 2 minutes, please, let's all find that inner rooster. We want to have a photo shoot of everyone in the room whilst we have our director, Aleta Rocha, with us. And I'm sure it will serve as a reminder. Anytime you are feeling down, discouraged, demotivated, simply pulling this picture back will help you find that inner rooster and simply keep growing dawn after dawn. So please light up the screens. Let's see your smiling faces, and let's get a screen from our 3 current screens. I have 3. Please turn on your cameras. And here, I'm sure other Zoom masters can also take screenshots. So I'm taking the first screen. Please, let's light it up with hearts. Let's see some red hearts from your reaction buttons. Red hearts, let's light it up. Good, that's it. Some celebrations, everything that you want to put in there. First slide going now. Lovely. Let's get ready. You never know which slide you may be in, so please keep those smiles up. Let's keep tapping on that heart button or the celebration. Going on to slide number 2. Amazing. Last but not the least, the 3rd slide. Please keep those virtual signs coming up. And as we do that, if you haven't yet decided on which breakout room you want to join, we would be having 3 breakout rooms, 1 dedicated to reading and recital, and you should prefix your name with RR if you wish to go to that room. If you wish to be in the sing-along karaoke room, please prefix with SK. If you wish to be in the sharing a recipe or cuisine, please prefix your name with SR, because in the next 1 minute, the rooms will be opened and you are free to join whichever room you want to be in. But if you're having a challenge, Zoom Masters would assist you by looking at the prefix number, the prefix code you have. For those who are watching us live on Facebook, sorry, but this is where it ends for you. Kindly look through our club Facebook chat. You will find the registration link. Do get registered so that you can join us and enjoy more exciting activities from amazing keynote speakers from all over the world as we continue up until 1:30 GMT. See you soon. Breakout rooms are now opened. Zoom Masters.
Do we have breakup room also?
Yes, please. So please feel free to join any of the breakout rooms. There are
But for
three.
Patricia, for the keynotes, there is a separate breakout room or what? How it's working?
Every breakout room has 4 or more keynote speakers that will take you through 15 minutes of presentations, and you would have 5 minutes opportunity to ask questions. So whichever room you join, there are keynote speakers ready to excite you. So feel free to join any room, try and listen to at least 2 keynote speeches, and then you can do a quick swooperoo and come back into the main room. I'll be here and ready to reassign you into another room to keep enjoying the moment. We just want to have fun. So over to you, my amazing moderators. As they join the room, you now take ownership and make it your own. Thank you so much. For those in the main room, we will be enjoying some sights and sounds, music from Africa.
Chance.